Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Innovation Alchemy. My name is Adam Castle, and today I'm here with founder Saamer Mansoor of BeAware Conference Captioning. Saamer, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
So Saamer, you are one of the members of our annual ScaleUP Accelerator program powered by Libro Credit Union. I'm so excited to have you here today. Tell us a little bit about your app.
Yeah, actually, before I do that, I've been looking at applying for ScaleUp for many, many years.
Okay, all right, okay.
And so I am super excited that I was actually able to join, because initially I didn't have a product.
Yeah.
When I first heard about it, you guys were growing at that time, I mean, the ScaleUp program had been growing at that time.
Yeah.
And, I'm like super excited that I've been able to join this one in particular because it's longer. What got me to build conference captioning? I've been doing app development for many, many years, and I specialize in accessibility. So what does accessibility experts do? We make sure that people who don't have the same abilities as us enjoy life the same way. And so I've been applying that to a lot of applications. And in 2021, during COVID, I'm not a doctor, so I couldn't heal people. So I was looking for positive stuff that I could do. And I built the Deaf Assistant, and it grew quite a bit significantly. And, it's a free app. Anyone out there, go to deafassistant.com, share it with your friends. But we heard a lot of feedback from people in the deaf community, and they were telling us that events are not accessible.
Yeah.
There were some people, professors, who were trying to use that Deaf Assistant now for their classrooms, but they weren't built for that purpose.
Right.
And so we built a specialized app using all that we learned, a lot of interviews, and it essentially conference captioning. You can go to conferencecaptioning.com. It enables accessibility at any in-person event. So if you have a classroom, you have a bus,
Yeah.
and you can't hear what the person's saying, or there's someone who's deaf, you want them to be able to read what is being said.
Yeah.
You can just download it. It takes 15 seconds to set up on your own device, and you get
awesome.
Accessibility.
Yeah, I mean, so we've had the opportunity to use this at a few of our events at WEtech too, and have seen firsthand just how easy it is to set up. It's literally just signing in, getting your stream, and everybody that's there, all the attendees, have access to this amazing technology, which is really cool. So, we've known you for a long time, and so you've been watching ScaleUp, but we've been watching you, and so you've been doing big things in our community in the developer space when really no one else has. For a long time, you were the one that was doing it, and there was not a lot of other voices out there that were running this stuff. Tell me about some of your experience through the ScaleUp program and how it's lived up or not to your expectations.
Yes. So, it's the ScaleUp program. Just being, on the sidelines has helped quite a bit. I helped a few ScaleUp companies with their technology stack, build it from scratch, and I learned the challenges that they face. Like, we built this tool for them, but they didn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
And so, and there were so many other challenges, like, why do we build it like that? They hadn't done the interviews. And so we learned so much, and we were able to apply it while building this tool. Every single aspect of it, the color, like every single aspect of it has been because of feedback that we received. We didn't build like an Eiffel Tower. We started with something very small and made sure, like an MVP that was very small, made sure that people actually used it. And any feature that we added was not because it would be cool to add, but it was because a customer was like, hey, it'd be nice if it would be useful for me if I had this other feature, and it would add value to the customer. And so that's why we added it. And that was like one of the biggest things that we learned from ScaleUp programs in general.
So just customer really taking that model of validation and making sure that it's applied well. And, it's like you're almost a bit of an armchair quarterback where you've helped to have seen these things done and like helped to implement them before. And now you're like, okay, I finally get to do it myself. We're going to do it the right way.
Yeah. And customer discovery is like, if you're starting a business, customer discovery is the key word.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen big companies do customer discovery too. Like, apparently Shinola, the watches in Detroit, they're doing customer discovery right now. Like, they're such a big company. I was doing customer discovery like 2 days ago. So like, customer discovery is probably one of the biggest pieces. Like you can be the smartest person in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't do customer discovery properly
Yeah, you got to have those conversations and understand
in
what
the
you're
right
listening
way.
to, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You're not going to succeed.
So talking about some of the challenges, I know looking at accessibility, it's a challenge to make that top of mind for people. And I think it's a challenge to get people to understand that it's really an important investment that they have to make. And it's not just a nice to have. So talk to me about some of the challenges you've had in terms of selling this types of technology into industries that maybe have not have thought about it in that way before.
Yeah. Great question. So, I mean, the events industry is extremely big. It's $1 trillion industry. And there's a lot of people who already are aware of it. And so we have not, at least for now, like we have not had to educate anybody into changing their mind.
Yep.
We're still at the stage where we're getting people who are already educated and who are looking for solutions. So we have a lot of like organic people come in. But in terms of like educating people, like we've had a lot of success by going through companies that are already educating.
Yep.
So their focus is educating people about accessibility, and they don't have a solution like ours to provide.
You become
And
a
so
trusted
we
partner for
become
them.
their
Yeah.
partner, and then they're able to provide it to their 150 clients that they
Yeah,
already
yeah.
have. Like, hey, this is a new tool that that we're offering as help.
Oh, for sure. That's a great
Yeah,
channel approach. And
yeah, yeah,
it addresses something that's really tough, right? That
exactly.
one
Yep.
to many approach for sales is really hard. But if
Yeah.
you've got channel partners that already have those experiences and those relationships, tap into them, right? Leverage the
Yeah.
heck out of them.
Yeah. I mean, there's one of our biggest competitors is $1 billion company. So they already are worth over, they're a unicorn.
Yeah, yeah.
And so the number of clients that they have is already significantly high, and they're
Yeah.
already doing so much work to educate. And so, we're getting those trickles right now.
Yeah.
One day we'll compete
Yeah,
with them.
yeah. And I mean, there's lots of opportunity to find where they're not and what those demographics are that they're not currently hitting and maybe not paying attention to, and finding a way to carve out
Yep.
your own path there.
Yeah, actually, that's a great point. So one of our tools, so we have our own custom AI models, language models that we fine tune, and they work really well for context specific events. So if you have an English event and they add like French words into it,
Yeah, yeah.
it'll pick up the French word as
Cool.
well within the English transcription. So the technology out there doesn't do any of that stuff
Yeah, yeah.
yet, but we have that tool, and it works really well, really fast. And so we're slightly differentiating ourselves through our technology. Like one of the other biggest competitors in the language translation space, live language translation space, has a 7-second delay from when someone's speaking English
Yeah.
to when they translate it and provide it in like French.
Right, right.
And so right now our delay is like 1 second.
That's
And
incredible.
so, yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, and it's because of what we do. Like the way that they do it is that they have, they send the audio from the person's device. They do use AI to transcribe it. Then they use another AI model to translate it.
Right.
And then they send it all back. It takes a lot of time to do all that really, busy work.
Yeah, yeah.
Essentially. But we, use the person's phone itself, which is already strong enough to do all that work.
Right.
And so we're able to cut down all the time, cut down
Very
all the
cool.
pricing.
And in this space,
Yeah.
like time matters, right? When you're
Yes.
live captioning something, you
Yes.
want to be involved in the event as it's happening, right?
Absolutely.
You don't want to be looking at your phone or waiting for, you to get the rest of the message. You want to understand it as soon as everyone else does in the crowd, right? So you can react
Yes.
to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there's so many basic things like people that, if you use YouTube captions for now, it doesn't have capitalization. It doesn't have like punctuation. So you don't know when the sentence ends, when the sentence starts. It's such a huge company, you'd expect them to do it, but they don't.
Right.
But we've been able to build it out and
Yeah.
get to that place. And I mean, it took us a very long time. We started just like where they were in 2021.
Yeah, exactly.
Our tool initially was just like that, but we've really been able to evolve.
Well, the difference is you care more, right? Like literally
Yeah.
is you've put the attention and time and effort into this because you know how much it matters to the customers that you're eventually serving.
Yes.
And you're part of a business model that's really interesting. And I've seen a much, I think, stark rise in that, which is the business to customer, right? Like your end user are the people that are going to be frequenting the businesses that you're selling this to. And I think when you have businesses, and there's a lot of them at ScaleUp this time around that have that model, when you have businesses that focus on end user, you have such a much better experience for them at the end of the day than it
Yeah.
is just trying to sell to another business, right?
Definitely, yeah. So one of the other things that that our competitors don't do, none of the competitors do actually, is like they don't focus on like the deaf blind.
Yeah.
So right now, if you want to provide accessibility for someone who's deaf blind, you need a sign language interpreter who's specialized in deaf blind
Right.
interpretation, and you need one per person. Our tool works with the Braille keyboard. So a lot of deafblind people,
That's
they
awesome.
walk around with
Yeah.
a Braille keyboard that's portable, that's connected to their phone, and they can actually read the live transcription or the live translation
That's amazing.
with, yeah, just by themselves. So they're independent, which is like what people love.
Yeah,
They
of
want to be
course.
independent.
Yeah, it means a lot to people,
Yep.
right? It's so
Yeah,
important.
exactly. And it's so simple for you to set up. 15 seconds, all you do, and
Yeah.
your event's accessible for
That's
the
awesome.
deaf
So,
blind.
Saamer, if you're a company that's trying to get into ScaleUp, right? You watched this journey for many years. You've worked with companies that are in it. What's your advice to a founder that thinks, "Hey, I want to do this next year"?
My advice would be to try to make $1. Don't focus on making $1 million. Try to make $1 or get LOIs, like letter of intent,
Yeah.
that someone says, oh, if you build something this exact same way, they will pay you,
Yep.
you know? And it can be non-binding, but get LOIs. You can get into scale, you can get into Y Combinator,
Yeah. Yeah,
but
yeah.
but like really don't try to build, a monument, a wonder of the world. Build something super small.
Yep.
Make $1, and try to make $2 the next day.
Yep.
Focus really small, and customer discovery. Like when you come to a program like ScaleUp, I think you really want to maximize what you can get out of it. And there's so many resources that you guys provide, even through like the Mars Discovery District.
Yeah.
Like there's so many resources that you guys have, even like the mentors that you guys provide, like they're so amazing. Like, Camille, for example, every single minute I'm like on my toes.
Yeah.
I'm like, Camille's like, oh, this, I'm like writing it down,
Yeah.
making changes, it's so super valuable. And you really want to maximize it. So when you come in, you don't want to be at like a very nascent stage.
Yeah.
You want to really, think about scaling up.
I would agree. I think the companies that have gotten the most out of it have put the most into it. And I think that's true with your business as a startup too. Like you get what you put into it. And it's an investment, right? It's an investment in time.
Yep.
So Saamer, I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you being a part of this ecosystem. You are always such a great, fantastic supporter of everything that's going on here, from the businesses to the work that's going on in the business support agencies. And we appreciate you. Thank you so much, and best of luck on the pitch in February.
Thank you so much, Adam. Appreciate the time.
Thanks, buddy. Take care.